Today on Carolina Week, lead contaminates water fountains and the flu infects students across campus. What you need to know to stay healthy.
And as Hurricane Ian threatens land and lives across the South, we'll tell you what to expect from this dangerous storm here in Chapel Hill.
All this and more next on Carolina Week.
UNC Hussman School of Journalism and Media, connecting Carolina's campus and community. This is Carolina Week.
I'm Stephen Schlink.
And I'm Kelly Kendall.
One person is dead and 3 others injured after a shooting on Pritchard Avenue Extension last night that briefly put the campus on lockdown. Around 6:18 p.m., Chapel Hill police responded to multiple gunshots in the 800 block of Pritchard Avenue Extension off Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Police have not identified the victims, one of whom was found dead at the scene, and 2 of the injured were transported to UNC Hospital. No word yet on the 3rd injured person.
UNC's environment, health, and safety officials found detectable levels of lead in water fountains and sinks in 8 buildings around campus. Reporter Taylin Kane talked to concerned students and shows us how to perform an at-home water contamination test.
Fordham, Hamilton, Manning, and Phillips Halls are among the 8 campus buildings where university officials found detectable levels of lead. Between all the buildings, there are 21 water fountains and 14 sinks that people on campus should refrain from using. Those contaminated fixtures have since been removed and building occupants notified, but there are still many concerns around campus.
Initial reaction to the lead in the water on campus was like, wow, I didn't expect it from a university like Chapel Hill, and it can impact students like mentally and physically.
Like all of us, the students drink the water every day. So if there is a problem with the water, there must be something that related to student health.
Anyone concerned can test water on their own by purchasing at-home lead testing kits at home improvement or department stores like Lowe's or Walmart. We decided to test one sink on campus ourselves.
I'm here in a vacant Phillips Hall bathroom where reports from the Department of Environment, Health, and Safety said there are approximately 26.3 parts per billion of lead in the water fountains. Now we take a look at what's in the sink.
To test lead levels in water, first use the dropper and place 2 droplets of water sample into the test vial. Swirl it gently for a few seconds, and then place the lead test strip into the test vial with the arrows pointing down and allow it to sit for 10 minutes.
And the results are in. Fortunately, the vial did test negative, and we can conclude that there is no lead in the Phillips Hall women's bathroom on the 2nd floor.
In an emailed statement to Carolina Week, the Orange County Water and Sewer Authority said they are supporting UNC's effort to sample water fountains and sinks on campus, and that they, quote, want to assure the community that this does not mean that lead is present in the drinking water across the service area, end quote.
Thanks, Taylin. Anyone with concerns about possible lead contamination can contact Campus Health at 919-966-2281 or their primary care providers.
If the intersection of South Columbia Street and Medical Drive is part of your daily commute, you may need to plan for a small detour. Earlier this week, UNC facilities closed 1 lane of traffic and the east sidewalk on South Columbia Street near the intersection. The crosswalk on Medical Drive is also closed to pedestrians. The intersection will be closed until March of next year for steam tunnel repairs, and UNC facilities warn of traffic pattern changes in the area. For those traveling along the routes, you should follow detours and use the western side of South Columbia Street.
Spring registration is here, and the university registrar made some changes to address confusion about reserved registration seats. When searching for classes, you may see a purple icon indicating a class section has only reserved seats available. To find additional information like open seats and how many are reserved for specific student groups, go to the class details page. Here's a quick look at the spring registration timeline. Registration shopping carts and appointments are now available, so you can begin planning your schedule on Connect Carolina today. Registration opens on October 21st for all graduate, professional, and post-baccalaureate students. The first wave of undergraduate registration begins on October 24th.
Chancellor Kevin Guskowitz announced late last week that Jennifer Conrad, a distinguished professor of finance, will serve as interim dean for the UNC Kenan Flagler Business School effective September 22nd. The announcement comes just days after Doug Shackelford, the school's dean of 8 years, abruptly announced he would retire September 19th. Conrad, who has been on the B School's faculty since 1985, served as Senior Associate Dean for Academic Affairs between 2011 and 2016. During Conrad's interim leadership, the business school continues to conduct a search for a permanent dean.
Activists and community members gathered in Carborough last weekend to show their concern for housing prices in Orange County. Reporter Mackenzie O'Donnell shares more about the march and the event that followed.
Housing is a human right. Housing is a human right.
Calling attention to Orange County housing prices.
The Southern Baptist Convention's leaders voted to cut a North Carolina church from affiliation during their meeting in Nashville early last week. Executive Chairman Jared Wellman says the College Park Church in Greensboro was, quote, outside the bounds of fellowship and pointed to its open, quote, affirmation of homosexual behavior as their deciding factor. College Park Baptist Church is located across the street from UNC Greensboro's campus. Church leaders and members self-describe as a welcoming LGBTQIA affirming Baptist church. 12 within the greater Chapel Hill community are a part of the Southern Baptist Convention. None are openly LGBTQ friendly.
Last week, we told you about William and Dana Starling, who recently donated $25 million to create the UNC Suicide Prevention Institute. Over the weekend, I sat down with William to hear their story.
Do you want to kind of explain what this is, this new institute, and let's start there.
We decided to put on paper what we wanted to do with our remaining assets. And in particular, with this gift, it's to memorialize our two wonderful sons that were part of our lives.
Absolutely. Can you just talk about who they were as people?
Greg was born in 1989 and was a firstborn and was the happiest day of my life when he was born. He was a happy kid until the pandemic hit and things just turned south. So, but he loved North Carolina. My youngest son, Tyler, died 7 years ago, and he was brilliant. He was he had an assured admit to go to Kenan Flagler here as a freshman, so he was very smart. He turned it down to go to Berkeley and did their BSBA program there as an honors program. He did very well, very smart kid.
What would your number one hope be that this new institute could accomplish?
There's nothing worse as a parent to see your child struggling and realize that they may have suicidal tendencies, and you do what you can do, but there isn't much that we can do except the obvious things that are out there, and they don't seem to be all that effective. So the hope is this will be a game changer. And if we put this institute together and work hard to make it the best we can make it, and we just save one life, it'll be well worth it.
What would you say to that person struggling with mental health right now? What would be your piece of advice to them?
To the individual struggling with depression, seek professional help as soon as you can. You do not want to wait and hope it goes away, because it will only get worse. It does not get better on its own. Have professional intervention.
Starling hopes the Institute will be up and running in the next 6 months. If you or someone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts, you can call 988 and speak with a professional. We'll be right back.
Worried about your friend but don't know how to reach out? You could say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You can ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR. It's all good if you think you should check in. Yeah, you should. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health.
Whatever gets you talking.
Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right, because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzz warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Flu season is upon us here in Chapel Hill. That's why it's important for UNC students to get their yearly flu shot. On average, the flu infects 8% of the American population each season. Flu season is typically during the fall and winter months of the year. And according to the CDC, the best way to prevent getting the flu is by receiving your vaccination each year. Campus Health has already administered nearly 2,000 flu vaccines since early September. UNC is offering the flu vaccine at several locations such as the Student Stores Pharmacy, Campus Health Pharmacy, and walk-in clinics. I got vaccinated at one of those clinics and documented the whole process to help you get your own. I'm here with Campus Health Director of Nursing and Performance Improvement, Michelle Camarena, and she's going to be giving me my flu shot today. Michelle, if you could just walk us through what you're going to be doing today.
So you go by Kelly. And Kelly, as you said, I'm Michelle. I'm the nurse. You are here for a flu shot today. And you've never had a problem with a flu shot before?
No, ma'am.
You have received it previously?
Yes.
Good. And you feel okay today?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. And it looks like we're going to do your left arm. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This will be available on your Healthy Heals portal later today. And it is as simple as that. There are no other questions or other information that we need to gather. Okay,
Awesome.
Let your arm hang down loose and relaxed for me. A little alcohol wipe. And here we go. 1, 2, 3. Good. That's it. Simple as that. Let's put a Band-Aid on there for you. Do you feel okay?
I feel great.
Good. You are done. Okay.
And just like that, getting your flu shot is under 2 minutes and you're in and out. If you plan to get your flu shot on campus, be sure to bring a copy of your insurance card. Vaccinations are available without insurance for $40. Visit flu.unc.edu to learn more.
Well, the flu shot isn't the only poke that you can get at Campus Health. There's also the Pfizer COVID-19 bivalent vaccine booster. Campus Health has administered over 11,000 COVID-19 booster shots, with around 1,400 of them being the new bivalent booster. This booster is designed to provide additional protection against COVID-19 variants like Omicron. Students can get a booster at no cost from Campus Health or Student Stores Pharmacies. Walk-ins are Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. Just be sure to bring your insurance and vaccination cards.
A storm is upon us. Hurricane Ian is expected to hit North Carolina later this week, according to a briefing by the National Weather Service. North Carolinians should prepare for heavy rain, possible flash flooding, and gusty winds that could reach up to 40 miles per hour. 3 to 7 inches of rain are expected Friday through Sunday, so be sure to prepare for Ian's arrival before Thursday evening and follow the National Weather Service and the North Carolina Emergency Management to stay up to date.
Kelly, it sounds like we've got a lot to watch this weekend, and to tell us about what we can expect is our Carolina Week meteorologist, Brian Foster.
For this week, especially for those who live in Florida. If you know anyone who lives down in the state, make sure to call up on them, make sure they're doing okay, make sure that they're prepared. They're going to have a huge impact from the storm, both with wind, surf, and rain. We're going to be feeling impacts from Ian as well once it makes its way into North Carolina later on this weekend. Up until that point, it'll be pleasant and cool, at least until Friday afternoon. Clouds will be building, could have some rain moving in by Friday night. This will be a all weekend long impact. Any weekend plans you have for Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, won't be any good days to do that. Might be able to get some weekend plans out for Friday morning. though the rain will be moving in after that point. Our biggest threat are heavy rain threats and also some gusty winds that could be associated with this storm. And I have more information on that as well with the track. Right now, Hurricane Ian is about to make landfall in Florida. It's going to snake its way around the Atlantic coast, back up into South Carolina. Depending on the track of the storm, we could see a lot of rain from this as well. Take a look at our rainfall forecast for this weekend. Most of this will fall on Saturday afternoon. We could see 3 to 7 inches of rain, definitely possible. However, higher up on that rainfall total will be more so associated with those isolated heavy storms that could occur when the storm moves inland. So I'm more so focused on maybe 3 to 5 inches of rain. It's going to be a lot of rain no matter what happens, mostly on Saturday as well. Also, the rainfall depends on the track. No matter where this storm goes, maybe closer towards Asheville, maybe makes its way towards Raleigh, have more similar impacts. It just depends on where this moisture sets up. Will depend on how much rain we'll see later on this weekend. So our main threats is heavy rain. We'd also see some gusty winds as the storm approaches North Carolina. And we do have a small chance of tornadoes. I'm not expecting much in the way of severe weather. It's just that we have an isolated risk of tornadoes that could form over the area, though I'm not expecting much in the way of that. We've got a couple of things working against our favor as Hurricane Ian makes its way towards North Carolina. Take a look at our synoptic map. This is just a map of across the entire country. As Hurricane Ian tries to make its way north and maybe out to sea, this high pressure system is going to keep it locked in a battle.
Thanks, Brian. Seems like we've got a lot of rain to look forward to this weekend.
I'm going to have to pull out my Carolina blue raincoat for sure.
I'm right there with you.
Stay with us here on Carolina Week for an exciting look at our Carolina athletics after this.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
All right, I'm in the house.
Okay, what do you see?
Nothing yet. Hold on, I think I just heard something. I'm heading upstairs.
Okay, I am almost there.
I'm in the bedroom.
Okay.
Oh shit, it's not here.
What?
The gun's not here.
What do you mean? Where is it?
Cameron, are you in there? Open the door. Cam, come on, Cameron.
Kelly, it was a tough weekend for the Tar Heel faithful in football.
I was at the game myself, Stephen, and it was a tough one. That's right, but a number of UNC athletes, past and present, have added some individual awards to their trophy cases this weekend. Here to tell us about it is Sports Extra's Isabella Gescos.
A perfect season, a national championship, and now a new proclamation. Monday evening, the women's lacrosse team drove to Raleigh to celebrate its national championship season. During the visit, Governor Roy Cooper signed a proclamation stating September 26th as a day recognizing the UNC women's lacrosse team. During the visit, the team toured the governor's mansion, the North Carolina Museum of History, and visited the House Chamber. UNC field hockey superstar Erin Matson has added another accolade to her resume. For the second time this season and the 15th time in her career, Erin Matson was named ACC Offensive Player of the Week. Matson scored both goals in the second half in Carolina's 2-0 win against Wake Forest on Friday. Matson currently leads the team with a total of 9 goals this season, and her career total of 118 goals ties for 5th in NCAA field hockey history. The win bumped the undefeated Tar Heels to the #1 seed in the latest national poll. Senior place kicker Jonathan Kim will forgo the remainder of North Carolina's season and enter the transfer portal. Kim served as UNC's lead kickoff man for the past 3 years and started every game his sophomore and junior season. In 2020, Kim led the nation with 76 touchbacks and averaged nearly 65 yards per kickoff. Kim looked to make the jump to becoming the full-time kicker this offseason, but lost the place-kicking battle to sophomore Noah Burnett. Many expect Burnett to take over the kickoff duties. Even though the Tar Heels fell to the Fighting Irish during the long weekend, but they did have one big football win. UNC added another key commitment to the class of 2023. Three-star cornerback Ty Adams flipped his commitment to the Tar Heels on Sunday. Adams' versatility has been on full display as a two-way player for his high school, starting at both quarterback and cornerback. His combination of speed and athleticism is sure to be a big boost for UNC's defense come next fall. After only 2 days of having him on the roster, the New York Knicks have waived former Tar Heel Garrison Brooks. Brooks spent 4 years at UNC before transferring to Mississippi State, averaging 9.7 points and 6 rebounds per game during his collegiate career. After going undrafted in 2022, Brooks spent time with the Knicks Summer League team and only saw action in 2 games in Las Vegas. Brooks is looking to get a roster spot in the NBA G League this coming season. Last month, a former Tar Heel standout made his name known on sports' biggest stage, but he's not stopping there. Elizabeth Scotty has the story.
Australian tennis player Rinky Hijikata came to Carolina in the fall of 2019. At the time, he was only ranked 746 in the ATP World Ranking.
Be sure to check back with Sports Extra on Friday for a preview of another packed weekend of Carolina athletics. We'll be right back.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. My service never stops.
STEM is everywhere, like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with trisodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that could be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker hordes.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at shecanstem.com.
A retired UNC professor has found a new meaning to taking someone under their wing.
Our reporter Kyle Ennis tells the story.
In the small city of Sebring, Florida, an unlikely friendship formed. Luis is no stranger to animals, but birds. This is a first for him.
At that moment, I have monkeys. I was in Africa. I have a monkey in Africa, has cats, but never ever a bird. So I learned everything because I didn't know anything about birds.
After discovering the blue jay at his home, the two are inseparable ever since.
I spend with him hours every day. So he's not afraid at all, whatever I do. And I learned especially that blue jays are very smart, very tender animals, extremely tender animals.
Sometimes all it takes is a loving mentor to learn to be like Feather, like Sun.
I know he knows I am his friend. He knows and he loves me. That's the most important thing. He has a bond, a special bond with me. This is his home.
And for one thing, I vote the bird has its own Twitter, maybe just so it can be tweeting away, so we can all keep in touch. In Chapel Hill, I'm Kyle Ennis, Carolina Week.
Kelly, I think I would have to follow that bird on Twitter if it ends up getting one.
He's sure going to get a follow from me. I actually think he should be the next Twitter logo.
We should start a petition for that.
Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week. We'll see you right back here next time.